Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at RNSM. Now, this is a prototype game here, so things can be subject to change, including the cards, the rules, or whatever. But I wanted to show you how to play this game. This game is going to be designed by Peter Hayward and published by Button Shy Games, and this is going to be an 18-card game, just like most of the other Button Shy games. So let's go ahead down to the table here. I'm going to show you how to play RNSM, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. All right, so this is BNSM. This is going to be a 1 to 4 player game for ages 10 and up, and it takes about 20 minutes to play. Your crew thought you planned the perfect crime until the slip of the tongue put the cops on your tail. Outwit your criminal compatriots with clever wordplay to make sure you're not the one who gets caught. Now, there's going to be 18 cards in this game, and again, just to reiterate, this is going to be a prototype. So this is going to be not the final copy. So some things can be subject to change, the cards, the rules, or whatever. But either way, Button Shy games mainly always have only 18 cards, and this is no exception for it. There's going to be 18 cards in this game. You're going to have letter cards here on the other side, and they're going to be B, C, D, F, G, H, L, L, M, 2 N's, P, 2 R's, S, 2 T's, and a W. That's what you have available. Wait, where are the vowels? Well, let's get into that. All right, so for setup, the game's pretty easy. There's a solo variant to the game, but in general, we're going to go over the 2 to 4 player game first. So you're going to collectively decide on the dictionary you're going to use for this game. So you can do any dictionary. There's dictionary.com, I think it is, that's available, or whatever the heck. You're just going to pick a dictionary. That's the dictionary you're going to use for this game. You're going to then shuffle this 18-card deck and place it in the middle of the table here. All right, so you're going to deal 4 cards to each player. Now, you're going to deal 3 cards to each player in a 4-player game, but 4 cards in the 2 to 3 player game. So the name of this game is getting rid of these cards to win. We're going to show you how to do that in a second. You're going to start the first round by flipping the top card of the deck and placing it in the center of the table. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So this will be the T that's in the center of the table. All right. And then place the deck near the center of the table, leaving space for face-up cards in the pile. I just said it's off to the side, but whatever. You could place it down above or whatever. But you're trying to place cards to the left or right here, so you need to have room for that. The player's player is whoever most recently wrote a note. So that'll be the first player, or choose how you want to have the first player on your own. So the gameplay is going to go over a series around. Players are going to attempt to empty their hands. So you're going to try to get rid of their hand here to win. Each round, players take turns clockwise around the table, adding cards to the center sequence of letters, or challenging the previous player to spell a word using those letters. Each turn, the active player draws 1 card, then chooses to play or challenge. So let's go ahead into draw a card. So I'm going to draw a card. If the deck is empty, when a player would be drawing a card, shuffle the discard pile into a new deck. So now I have 5 cards. I need to get down to no cards. So I will probably try to play a card. So I could choose any of these cards here and place it out here in the middle of the board. So I could do like that, T and then P. All right. So what are all the rules for playing a card? So you're going to place it face up in the middle of the board here. You're going to do it before, after, or in between existing central letters. You could shift the letters as needed to make room, but do not swap or reorder them. So in a future turn, I could do this if I wanted to. And move that over, but I don't move any, I don't go like this or whatever, but I place a letter out. When playing your letters, you have 2 strategies you can do. You can create a sequence of letters that you can use to form a valid word and makes further play difficult for your opponents, or bluff by creating a sequence of letters that you don't believe you can create a valid word with. Sometimes you'll be forced to bluff because you have no plays that allow you to spell a word. So little note on valid words. To be valid, the word must exist in the dictionary during setup. The dictionary you picked during setup, sorry. It must contain the central letters in order and may contain any number of additional letters inserted among them. Additionally, proper nouns, acronyms, and initials are valid. For example, if the center letter here was T and P, this could spell like top or troop or whatever. As long as you can fill letters in to make it a word, you're good. If the deck and the discard pile are both empty after you play, the round ends and you must immediately say the valid word. So, discard one card if you do. The previous player discards one card if you cannot. So that's going to be one way that you're going to get rid of cards in the game. So if we go through all the cards and all the cards are out and everyone has cards in their hand, that player is going to have to immediately say a word. If they can, they get to discard a card. And that's one less card in their hand. Otherwise, the previous player gets to discard a card. So that's nice for them. Now, you could also challenge on your turn. So that's going to be how the round goes. So we're going to keep repeating these rounds until someone runs out of cards. But the next thing you do is challenge. If the player to your right played a letter on a previous turn, or the previous turn, you may challenge them instead of playing a letter. But you may not challenge other players or issue challenge at other times. The challenged player must immediately say the valid word. If they do, they win the challenge and choose two cards from their hand and discard it. If they cannot say the valid word, you win the challenge and discard 2 cards from your hand. So challenges are really powerful and a very quick way of the card of 4 cards in your hand to really get down to no cards. If the player only has 1 card in their hand, they discard that card instead. Cards are always discarded face up in a discard pile. So you just put those up here when you do that. All right. After the challenge ends, the round ends. So there's 2 different ways the round can end. The round can end because you ran out of cards, or the round can end because there was a challenge. The round ends when the player discards. So again, if you discard because the deck ran out, or you discarded because you did a challenge, the round will end. And then you're going to look at a couple things. If any player's hands are empty, they're going to win the game immediately. Otherwise, we're going to go into a new round. But if no one wins the round, what's going to happen is we're going to start a new round. You're going to keep the cards that are in your hand, but you're going to shuffle all the cards and all the cards that are out there on the table, shuffle them all up, and flip a new card over and start a new round. We're going to continue doing this until someone discards their last card and they're out of cards. When that happens, they win the game and the game ends. So that is going to be the rules for this game, but there's also a solo mode. So the solo mode is going to take all the rules from the base game, but draw a hand of only one. So you only have 1 card in your hand. Your goal is to make the longest word you can. Each turn, you're going to draw a card and then play a card, following the base game rules. At the end of the turn, you may choose to end the game if you can form a valid word using the central letters. You score will be total of the cards that you have out in the game. So you're trying to get as many as you can get out possible. You have to wait until you decide to stop. So if I draw a card, I still have to place a letter out. If I can't spell a valid word, I lose the game. So it's a little bit of a push your luck here and test your knowledge of the English language for how many words that you can create with that sequence. But that's going to be how you're going to play RNSM. Again, this is a prototype, so things can be subject to change. But that's it. So let's go ahead back up to the table here, and I'll give you my final thoughts on RNSM. All right, so that was RNSM. Now, component quality, this is a prototype, but I can tell you that the card quality of all the Button Shy games is great, and it comes with these really cool wallets that you can store the game in. These games are highly portable games. You can bring out and play it anywhere. You can bring out a giant collection of games with Button Shy, and this is going to be one of my dreaded game types, which is going to be like your word games. So think Scrabble, one of the games I'm really, really horrible at. I'm also not really great at this game, but I'm much better at this game, where you can just add any number of vowels or letters or whatever in between each of these words, just so you make a word. I do a little better with this. If you like word games, this is actually a really good twist on word games. And if you have some people that are a little so-so on them, they might be really into this one. Plus, it's really quick to play, so you can really get into it. But yeah, just a dictionary you can use just for, we primarily used for it's just for spelling, just to make sure everything is in place correctly. But in general, the dictionary was used very little because, I didn't really get into really big words. But if you do, you'll probably pop that out just to make sure what you have out is still in the correct order. But overall, for a word style game, this is going to be one of my favorite. Also, I really like the design of the game and I really like the flow of the game. I really think they did a really good thought process of it, and it does really feel like you're doing like that ransom note sort of thing going, where you're having the different like the different pictures of the letters and stuff. So it looks like a little collage on there, and I like the idea of not having the vowels and stuff. That's really cool. And that helps you get down to these 18 cards. So that's very helpful for that. But overall, I really like this game. I think this game is really well designed. But that's my thoughts on it. If you like what we do, please like and subscribe. It incredibly helps us out. We're trying to get better equipment, trying to do better content for you guys. And that really helps us get to those goals to, get that done. And we really appreciate it. But either way, I hope you all have a great day. And thank you for watching.